What's up, guys? Today we're going to be making our Week 8 NFL predictions. A week that I think there's going to be quite some upsets. But make sure you guys subscribe. We're continuing to grow. Hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. But we're going to get right to it. So on Thursday night, we have the Ravens and the Buccaneers. Buccaneers have struggled. Really, two teams that have struggled with that they both have had high expectations. Tampa's at home. The Ravens are favored. I don't see Tom Brady losing another game. We saw two really bad games. I just think that they're coming back home. They're going to be playing at home. I think they'll win this game. The Ravens have struggled to keep leads, and any chance you give Tom Brady, he'll, even if he's not playing well this year, he'll take any opportunity that you give him. So I have the Buccaneers winning that game. That game actually should help the Dolphins if the Buccaneers win. But then on Sunday we have our first London game in a few weeks. We didn't have one this week or the week before, but they're back. It's the Broncos and Jaguars. Broncos had high expectations as well. Russell Wilson didn't play last week. I don't know if he's going to play. He's expected to, so he probably will. But I think the Jaguars are going to win this game. That Broncos offense is struggling pretty badly. And I mentioned if you guys watched the reaction video to the Dolphins win, if the Broncos lose, they might be trading some important pieces away, so keep an eye on that game. I think the Jaguars will win that game. Jaguars have been good in London, so yeah, I have the Jaguars winning that one. Then the Panthers and Falcons. Panthers came off of a surprising victory against the Bucs. And the Falcons they struggled passing the ball and moving the ball against the Bengals. But the Falcons are at home. I think the Falcons will win this one. I think the Panthers are still rebuilding, even though they won last week. I think they're going to rebuild, try and get a top draft pick. So I have the Falcons winning that one. Then the Bears and Cowboys. Bears actually beat the Patriots. We'll talk about the Patriots when we get to that game. But Cowboys didn't. It was like people were saying that it was going to be a higher scoring game. They only scored 24 points against a struggling Lions. Really a struggling Lions defense that's been one of the worst in the league. But they won the game. Defense looked great. Dak looked good. I mean, it's his first game back in really 6 weeks, so same thing for him that we said about Tua, just getting back into the swing of things. But I think the Cowboys will win this game. They are at home. I think that defense is just going to destroy the offensive line for the Bears. So I have the Cowboys winning. Then the Dolphins and Lions. We're going to be dropping our video on Friday about that. So make sure you guys go check that out when it drops. I'll be giving my full prediction on that game, full detail. Doing it on Friday this week because there's a lot of unknowns like DeAndre Swift. We don't know if he's going to play. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Teron Armstead, just a lot of guys that are main guys questionable. So we'll talk about that on Friday. Then the Cardinals and the Vikings. Vikings coming off a bye. Cardinals got D-Hop back. They played last Thursday, so really some 10-day break. So both teams are rested. Minnesota Vikings are favored to win this game. I think the Cardinals will win this game. The Vikings struggle to even play the Dolphins with Teddy Bridgewater, and without a bunch of our guys, without Teron Armstead, I was really high on them. I still am, but I just don't think. I think the Cardinals are a different team with DeAndre Hopkins, and when him and Kyler are on the same page, they're one of the best. So I have the Cardinals upsetting the Vikings, winning that game. Then the Raiders and the Saints, two teams that are that the Saints have been injured. Really got hit by the injury bug. They've struggled. They've had Andy Dalton, but they've stayed in games. They've stayed in some games. The Raiders are 2-4. They're coming off a bye. I think they'll win that game. No, excuse me. They're not coming off a bye. They did play the Texans. But they had their bye the week before. I think the Raiders will win that game. Get closer to 500, maybe try and keep going and get on a run. Then we have the Patriots and the Jets. I said I was going to talk about the Patriots. As a Dolphins fan, Dolphins channel, this is a divisional matchup, but the Patriots have always been like our rival in the division. But as a football fan, like I don't get Bill Belichick benching Mac Jones. It makes no sense to me. He's been their starter, led them to playoffs. I get maybe he had a bad interception, but that's one interception. He's coming off that injury. So I didn't really get that. Jets lost a big piece, Breece Hall. That's horrible because he was gonna probably win the Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Prayers for him that he heals quickly. But I have the Patriots winning this one, I think, with all the speculation around who's going to start. If Mac Jones does play, I think he's going to quiet everyone, and he's going to win that game. Then the Eagles and the Steelers. Eagles coming off a bye, undefeated. I think they'll stay undefeated and win that game. And they're also at home, so one of the more up-and-coming teams in the NFL. Fan base is great there. So I have the Eagles. Then the Titans and Texans. Texans have struggled this year once again. They're continuing to rebuild. Titans have gone back on track after starting 0-2. They're now 4-2. Derrick Henry has looked good. Have the Titans winning this one and moving to 5-2 and getting a bigger lead in the division. Then the Commanders and the Colts. Matt Ryan getting benched for Sam Ehlinger. So really, and then on the other side, Carson Wentz is out. Taylor Heineke, he led them to a win against the Packers last week. Both teams really have kind of struggled. More expectations for the Colts, and they haven't played well. But I think this is a week where Jonathan Taylor really gets back to his form and plays well like he was last year, and I think they'll win this game. Especially that Sam Ehlinger is going to be quarterback. I think they're going to try running the ball, get him into things, so I think the Colts win that one. Then the 49ers and Rams, an important game for Dolphins fans because we have the 49ers first-round pick. The Rams did lose to the 49ers in week 3 or 4. But I know they've struggled, but I don't see that happening again. The Rams, they came off a bye. I think, they're gonna reset the page. I think that the 49ers, they got Christian McCaffrey, but last week they didn't really look that great. I know it was against the Chiefs, but I think the Rams win this one. I do think this is gonna be it's gonna be the game of the week. Very excited for that game. Then we have the Giants and the Seahawks, two surprising teams around the NFL. They've been Seahawks with Geno Smith and Giants with Daniel Jones at quarterback. Two guys that have had pretty good seasons. Geno Smith has probably been the more surprising one, especially that he was backing up Russell Wilson for some years. But this game, it's in Seattle. But I think that the Giants will win this game. Every time I've picked against the Giants, they've won. I just think if they've been very good this year. I do think they're gonna trade for a wide receiver though, especially that they're in contention. if they get a wide receiver, they're going to be one of the top teams in the NFC. So watch out for them. So I do think the Giants win this game. And then on Sunday Night Football, the Bills and Packers. Packers have struggled. Bills, one of the best teams in the NFL. I think the Bills win that one and move to 6-1. Then the Bengals and Browns. Here it's a divisional matchup. So I think that really it's gonna be a close game. I think that. Excuse me, no, it is not a divisional matchup. I'm sorry. No, it is. My bad. I get those divisions confused, the AFC West and the North. It is a divisional matchup. Sorry for that confusion, but Cleveland has struggled as well with Jacoby Brissett, but they kept things close with the Ravens last week. They're at home. I think this is a game where they can win this game. I think they'll win this game. That's one of my bigger upsets this week. So yeah, those are my picks. Let me know what you guys think. Any different picks. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and fins up.